hi. I'm going to sit here for a moment as people roll in, and I'm just going to take a nice long. It's amazing. You guys, you would have no idea. I've been dangling from my wall here, trying to hang a blanket over my window. We are in that time of year where the sun hits directly on my window at this time for about a half an hour or 45 minutes. So I didn't realize when I went live and I tried to do my thumbnail, all you could see was white. It was just the blast of the light. I tried to adjust. I got a blanket over the window a little bit here. I tried to adjust my laptop, and finally I kind of got it work. Let me know if it looks okay on your end. But just to give you an example of how bad it was, because I can just pull it back to where it is now. But you can see what was going on with the light, but it was even twice as bad as that. So I'm just gonna pull this forward, and I'm just going to whoopsie. I'm just going to pull it back a little bit here, and we're just as good to go as we ever are. Andrew, hello. Oh my goodness. Hi, Owen. I hope everybody is having an amazing week. I'm not quite coming to the end of my week yet. I picked up an extra shift, so I'm going to be working tomorrow. So I'll do my what's my good cheer. I guess I'll probably do it before I leave for work. I'll do it early, just because I know that it is going to be a long shift, and I'm going to assume I'm going to be pretty exhausted overextending my normal work week. And we gave it today. If there's any grumbles or complaints, I tell you, I'm going to feel like I'm being picked on, because when I left today, oh my goodness. And not only that, everybody worked so hard, and it was truly a team effort. And it's not necessarily that we don't uh, what is it? We need to be, great job, and we need to be cheerleadered on that. But that does help. I know for myself, I live off the compliments, right? If you give me the side eye, or roll your eyes, or huff, or grumble or complain about a work or a job that I do, I'm less likely to put the effort in next time. Just people think, just because that I'm sensitive and empathic, that I'm going to overextend myself, work even harder to try to impress somebody. I would do that, but I would do it out of gratitude for the amazing job over my head. I would do it for um, uh, people that respect the job that I do, that recognize the job that I do, or the job that I'm just using myself as an example, but it could be anybody. We don't usually extend that much patience, and we tend to look for the wrong in people, and the bad in the people, and the things that people don't get right. But you have no idea how you can build loyalty with people. You know, um, uh, to use an example, I had the scariest manager ever a couple of years ago. She was like the scary woman, right? I'd come home and I'd just be bawling my eyes out, because she was constantly yelling at me. But I recognized, that it wasn't, because I recognize intent in things, and I didn't sense any ill intent in the loudness and in the gruffness of how she was presenting herself. I actually felt a very kind heart there. Didn't say that it made any difference, because she's still a very scary woman, and it took me a couple of months to get used to her, just to get used to her. And then one day, she cranked at me. Oh boy, she just cranked at me. And, you're nice until there's a point where you just, right? And it wasn't that I was unkind, but I had to hold my ground. And I just said, when you do these kind of things, how do you think I feel when you trigger me? Because it takes a lot for me to get back into that control over myself, or to overcome the hurt feelings. I says, so I do get triggered. This is part of, and I had that conversation. I said, this is part of my childhood trauma. This is the way I grew up, and in my hypervigilance, I worked my entire life so I wouldn't have to encounter that too often, and yet it found me all the time. And I says, as an adult and in taking lessons, I'd already been in mindset lessons, and I'd already starting to become my own person and becoming a little bit better at sticking up for myself. I says, I don't want to be triggered like this. Every time that I come into work, and I don't want you yelling at me, because right, it will ruin my whole day, it'll ruin my whole week, and it will also get me into that state of mind where I would think, right, I'm going to lose my job, or quite often I would just stumble over myself. And might remember you what I used to say. I used to cross train myself in everybody's positions, because I would be so worried that I would lose my job. I would be the first to lose my job, that I would learn everybody's job. And then everybody would be resentful, because they would know that if they got fired, that it'd probably be okay, because Cindy would pick up the slack, right? And there wouldn't be any difference in the pay. I had that conversation with her. And I think I've told this story before, because it's a beautiful, beautiful story. And, you know, and she was pretty good, and she hold herself. But I understand, I want people to be able to be themselves around me. I don't mind the gruffness. I just don't want the attack in there. I don't want to feel the bite. I don't want to feel that resentment, or right, that intent to do that, right? And lots of people, they understand how to move highly sensitives, and how to move empaths, and right, and these are tactics that have always been used on me. And for the most part, it was only recognizing that was basically all I could do, because these were the authority figures. These were my bosses, and the owners, and my parents, and my sister, who was helping me with bills and helping to make up the difference in a rent that I couldn't afford, right? So in these past half a dozen years, I've been learning to become super dependent on myself, not codependent on myself. And I could easily do that, easily just give myself to that and let that, right? But this is the the creation, right, of the best human being that I possibly can. But I'm included in that, right? In that consideration. But it is majority rules. And I had that conversation with her, and a couple of months later, right, I could see she was holding herself. She wanted to crank, wanted, and I didn't mind that. But like I said, it was just the intent in that. And she came up to me, and she goes, Cindy, I'm going to yell at you. She was giving me the heads up, because she knew I was going to be triggered, right? And I looked at her, and I just burst out. I just burst out laughing. I found it extremely endearing. I thought it was super, super, super thoughtful, right? Because I do get triggered by being yelled at, or somebody accusing me of something. It's very common with highly sensitives and empaths to, right, carry to carry that load. And for the most part, we can kind of, right, turn the blind eye, but I'm not one for turning the other cheek. And I thought there was a lesson there, and she took it. And me and her, oh, we were getting to be amazing, amazing friends. And I would do anything for that woman. And I haven't seen her in a few months. I hope she's doing really, really well. If there was anything I could ever do for her, because she has done so much for me in the mentorship and me becoming independent, right? Not being so codependent on others. Okay, let's come into the comments. I got had time to make my coffee, to bring a cold drink, which I'm going to crack right now because I do feel thirsty, and to pull my bags because tonight is show and tell, guys. So my show and tell, and girls, if you're here. Uh, so I've got my bags here too, and today I brought home. Right, remember I bought that new dining room table for myself. I got the matching chairs this payday. They cost me, I think, $19 for the two chairs. They're exactly the same. I brought one of the chairs home on the bus. It was a little bit embarrassing, but I didn't have a car, so it is what it is, right? And he was very nice to me, right? You get a little bit older, you get a little bit extra consideration. I know I get on the bus all the time, and everybody's jumping out of their seats for me these days. And it's sweet, right? But I don't feel my age, but sometimes I do take that advantage of it, especially if I have hard days at work. And it's also good for them, right? Good for them to learn these kind of considerations as everyday habits. And I give the credit to their parents or to whoever, right, taught them to be polite to offer a seat to somebody mature. Okay, let me. Perfect. Do you have this in the States, you guys? This is absolutely an amazing product. I drink a lot of it. Brisk iced tea. There's no calories in it. So tasty, so refreshing and hydrating. And when I am thirsty, right? What a nice drink to have. And no calories. I know I overdo it quite a bit in the aspartame or sucralose or saccharin, whatever the sweeteners, artificial sweeteners are these days. Yeah, very, very good drink. I don't know if you guys know or have this drink. Oh, you do have this one. Do you like that one, Donna? Do you like the Brisk Zero? Out of all the brisk cans in this is down the pop aisle, they have them all lined up. They go on sale quite often. They're only, I think, $1.25. They're fairly inexpensive, but you can get them for $1.25 when they go on sale. But the diet one is always gone, right? It's always the empty stock. So when they go on sale, I like to buy them. Oh, that's great to hear. Oh, good. So there's another person who's a fan. Yeah, and then I also have my coffee. I am a coffee drinker. I do enjoy my coffee. So I made a coffee. But when I finished making my coffee, I said, "Oh, I'm so thirsty." And we all know that coffee doesn't really um, take the thirst away. Okay, you guys. So we got show and tell here. I'm going to come into the comments and say hello to everybody. Hello, Andrew. Oh, you guys, I got to tell you, I'm sure Andrew's not going to mind. I sent Andrew's a writer. He writes mostly for himself, but he writes novels and stuff, and he does really beautiful letters and calligraphy and everything. And he always sends me these beautiful, beautiful written letters, long letters too, just beautiful. And so, because of the store that I work at, I come across beautiful pens, right? Like really, really beautiful pens. We had some beautiful Schaefer's in our store in the jewelry cabinet this weekend, and I got my collection. I was cleaning out all my pens, and I says, you know what? I'm going to send Andrew all my most beautiful pens. And I grabbed all my favorite pens. And it was nice that you commented on the Tiger Pearl pen because that was my favorite pen. I used it all the time. I don't know. I'm assuming you could get new refills for it. I mean, it still wrote nice, but I assume that it's going to run out of ink soon. But I sent him these pens and I got a letter from him. And he wrote, I think, for 5 days in this letter when he's at work or if he likes to write, right? He loves to write. And he wrote me a letter. But the most beautiful thing about it, each day that he wrote the letter with one of the pens that I gave him. So the whole day he would talk about his day and right and he'd write. I thought that was so creative, Andrew. I thought it was so thoughtful. And as I was reading the letters, I go, "Oh, this is a beautiful pen. Oh, this is my favorite pen," right? And he'd also let me know what pen he was using when he was writing the letter. I just wanted to tell you, Andrew, how much that touched me to get the letter. I actually got the letter the night before when I checked my mail. It was in my mailbox, and I didn't open it until I left for work the next morning because it's a 20-minute ride to go to work. And I sat on the bus and I was just mesmerized by the letter. So creative, Andrew. Yeah, it's amazing. Amazing how and where life takes us, doesn't it? Okay, we're back into it. Oh, thank you guys for letting me know that everything looks okay. Um, Yeah, but the thing is, when it doesn't matter because they are the authority and you do the very best that you can. You always do the very best that you can, no matter what. And you just expect to be treated fairly, but right, not being the authority, you just have to abide with what it is for the most part, or you move on. I have been taught to, right, when things aren't going well, when you have that feeling, right, then it is time to move forward. Grateful for the job over my head. I had so much fun today. Oh my goodness. My till was just running all day long. I sold so many. It was crazy town, but it was so fun, and there were so many amazing conversations, and at the same time we got some really big projects done because I was able to be up there by myself and just get the job done. And we had a really, really fantastic day today. Uh, okay. Hello, Donna. Thank you so much for popping in. We got show and tell tonight, you guys. I had a supervisor. This is Andrew. I had a supervisor, I'll call Jane, who said to me, I can only fire you. I held up my steady hand and said, I'm shaking, Jane. That ended that conversation. Wow. Right? But that's standing your ground. I don't think I would be brave enough to do that. But I think once the conversation is had, you can be truthful and you can be honest because you don't say anything and you don't do anything, it allows that person to use those coercive and right, it is abusive behaviors on other people. It's only tactics and intimidation and right, and that's being a highly sensitive and an empath. Right. It's very important for us to be our own bosses. even if you're not in a situation where you're not the manager or the owner or something, I'm very grateful to have a job that allows me to be myself, right? And I do control my surroundings. And that store, I treat it like it's my very own. And I'm very grateful, right? That even though I'm not even a supervisor there anymore or anything, that they give me that privilege to run those shows. But then again, at the same time, I give that respect to those supervisors and management too, because right, they are the authority, and not only the authority, they work hard, right? And they deserve their positions too. And I, as an employee, am supposed to be there to lift them up, to hold them up, make it possible so that they can do their job well, and to be happy in their job, because everybody has a right to be happy in their job, right? But that's why I love the entrepreneurs so much, because as highly sensitives and empaths, we should be our own bosses, or for at the very least, have positions in our work environment where we can work by ourselves and not have that overseer, right? That they can give you that list of to dos. And right, as long as you get that list of to dos and get that productivity in, that you could be the creator of that position yourself. You can be the ruler of yourself, right? And not in a, right, make yourself a slave, but right, to be that team player for yourself, knowing that you're supporting yourself. Yeah. I'm grateful, very grateful for the bit of mentorship that I did get, because I've made some great strides because of it, right? I've made some great strides in my own life because I've had a safe place to be able to earn a living, right? And even if that job is not forever, I'm 62 years old, right? Going into retirement sometimes not too far in the future, and I'll be working right until I drop, no matter what. But right, what I'll be working on, right, is something in the future, not something. And you guys could see how the light is changing a little bit. So maybe we can push it back now. No, we can't. So we got to move it even further, a little bit of adjustment. We'll get used to this, guys. It'll probably only be for a week or two at this time, and then it'll happen a little bit later. Oh, there you go. See? There we go. That works, you guys. Let's have a sip, because we're going to be opening the packages now anyway. And if just let me know to adjust it in the comments, and then I'll just kind of turn it around so it doesn't go all blurry like that. So tasty. I really like that. So I'm not quite sure. Okay, so if you've never popped into my live here, Chatters live on Sunday night. This is super casual, you guys. I'd love to see you join in on the conversation. You can tell by the conversation right now how amazing my crew is. My crew, I have to say, just absolutely just rocks. And they're with me for almost every Sunday, and they don't have to. They very rarely take a day off when it comes to me. And and I get a little bit nervous if they're not here on Sunday, and they end up with a little email afterwards just to make sure that everything is okay, right? Okay. Wow, you guys were really in the comments here. So what was Donna saying? Never be embarrassed of what you do. Yeah, 100%, but sometimes we, in our limiting beliefs, right? We sometimes think we don't meet the par. We don't meet the standards, and we can after a while. And and it's not for everybody, but lots of people, they can let their limiting beliefs interfere with their lives. I could tell you. Mine interfered with my life for, I would have to say, 50 years until I, right, woke up to a different story. And I'm grateful, grateful. I loved the pens, and it was a joy to write with them. And it was a joy to read. It was absolute joy to read the letters. And it was so creative, Andrew, the way you did that. I don't know. I thought it was absolutely amazing. You'll have a great Memorial Week. Oh, Memorial Weekend. You take care, Donna. You take care. Thank you so much for popping in. Um, Happy Memorial. Now, what is this Memorial Day? What is that in celebration, Andrew? Can you let me know? Is Memorial Weekend. Who are you honoring in Memorial Weekend? That isn't like Veterans Day here in Canada, is it? Like our Remembrance Day in November, and then you guys have your Remembrance Day in May. I don't know. Let me know in the comments there. I'm not familiar. Forgive me if I don't recognize properly. I know you guys got the 4th of July coming up, and that's going to be a big one. It's almost only a month away, you guys. Okay, you guys, here we go. This is show and tell night. Welcome, welcome, everybody. I work in a thrift store, and when I find things, I put them away on payday. I pay for them. I bring them home. So every second week, right? I let you guys in on some of the great scores that I get. Some of them are, oh, Nancy. Hello, Nancy. Hello, Nancy. Um, oh, okay. To honor those in the armed force. Oh, so it is like our Remembrance Day. Yeah, here in Canada, Remembrance Day is in November. But wow, what a nice time actually to have a Remembrance Day, a Memorial Day. Right? You can actually do flowers in November. It's always snow, rain, and miserable, and right. My husband was in the armed forces, and he would always do big parades out in what do you call this, the base courts, right? And they put on a big show, and we'd all go sit in the bleachers and everything. But November quite often was rainy snow. It was pretty miserable. I would think May's kind of nice, right? And especially if you're honoring people who pass away, that they get some nice spring flowers and stuff, right? Okay. Oh, first day of summer. Isn't that interesting? I think here in Canada, first day of summer, I think, is like June 22nd, if I'm thinking correctly. But then again, we're further north, right? We're further north. We get some pretty hot summers here, but it takes a while for it to, right, start rolling in that heat, because it takes a while for winter kind of to phase out at the same time. So I don't know what Pudge stands for. We had a linen sale where we got 50% off of linens, and this is, I'm assuming it's for sitting on when you go to football games, or something. I have something similar that I use when I go on my trips to sit on the seats of the picnic tables in the morning when they're wet or covered in frost or something. But I thought, because at 50% off, this was priced at $1.50. Somebody, right? I'm not there to price everything. For me, probably would have put $3 or $3.50 on this. But I saw the tag $1.50. It was 75% off. I got it for 75. I got it for 75 cents. I might even use it for my office chair here. I might even use it for my office chair. We'll see how that goes. Oh, Malvin's here. Oh, hello, Malvin. You guys, yeah. So Melvin was in my what's my good cheer show this week, and he was saying that his eyesight is absolutely amazing. He had his cataracts removed, and it was a process, right? And I know I wouldn't be super thrilled at having to have cataract surgery, but it's all over, Melvin. It's all over now. So enjoy your eyes. Are you wearing glasses or anything at all, Melvin? Do you still have to use readers or anything, or you're not wearing glasses at all? Let me know in the comments. Okay, so item number 1 tonight is this seat, and I got it for 75 cents. My staff charges this week were $80, but I'm going to show you my dining room table right now, or not my dining room table, my new dining room chairs to go with the new table I bought last month. Aren't they beautiful? I got 2 of these, and they were $15 each. And with my staff discount, I got them for like $20. I got both of them for $20. So I have almost everything in my house. I'm not a couch person. I don't watch TV. I'm not somebody who lounges. I used to be a big lounger. I could lay on the couch and watch movies all day. I'm still buying movies, right? These are movies I haven't watched yet, and I picked these up, but I haven't even watched them yet because I'm not that person. I'd much rather learn something than watch a movie, in all honesty. But once in a while, I think if I get too heavy, right, into some of the content, that it would be a good way for me to get away and relax and watch a movie. And I have to say, I think I've got 2 movies in this week's staff charges, and then the rest of it is just my music. You can't beat Saturday Night Fever. I love the Bee Gees, you guys. They're my absolute favorite. But this Saturday Night Fever album is got to be one of the very best albums ever made, besides Barry Gibb's album Guilty that he did with Barbara Streisand. Don't laugh at me. Right? I used to be mad for Barbara Streisand. I thought she was absolutely an amazing artist because she did so many things, right? She was a comedian, she was an actress, she was a singer, right? And I think, she was an example for others who were coming up in the industry. And I thought she was so multi-talented. And yeah, I'm glad to see that she's still doing good. Okay, next thing. I've got a soup ladle. Right? I needed a soup ladle. I needed a good one. And this is good because I can leave it in my pot when I'm cooking because it's made of silicone, and it's it's like brand new condition. And I think it was only $1. I think it was only $1. Like I said, I spent $80 on my staff charges, but the 2 chairs account for 20 of those dollars. Isn't that amazing? 2 beautiful, and they're beautiful chairs, and they match my kitchen table perfect. And I was going to buy wood chairs and paint them, and then these came up, and I said, "Whoa, those are just perfect. They're brand new." And so now I'm set up basically for my entire life. Well, not really. I think I'm pretty close to needing a new PC. I have a laptop, I'm good, but my PC is, right? It's an oldie, and it's time to be replaced. And I do love the big monitors, and I love the convenience of a PC, something solid and permanent there, and maybe have the laptop for just my editing my videos and taking with me when I'm out and about, right? Okay. I got another file for clients, right? I do work in emotion. It's where my gifts are. I work in mindset. I'm work at untangling the wires of the human soul. Remember what I say, the human soul. So both, so that each can distinguish itself from the other, right? Maybe we could stop beating ourselves up so much. Maybe, right? Be our own best friends. I know that sounds a little bit corny, but I tell you, the miracles in my life, right? A lot of that heaviness, that cloud that was a constant hand, uh, hung over me, right? It was just dark and dreary, and I like a dark, dreary, rainy day. But I don't like a dark, dreary, rainy life, right? I do love varying. Well, I love everything. I love uniqueness and things that are different. Okay. So I got this one here, landscapes in pencils, and it shows you how to draw, right? And you guys know I love my landscapes. So, and I picked up an art easel. I picked up watercolors and paintbrushes and canvases. And I thought, well, maybe this will help me to be a little bit better, right? Because I was going to say, sometimes I think I'm Leonardo da Vinci, but the other day I sectioned off a page and into little squares, and in those little squares, because we all have doodle. I don't know about you guys when you're writing stuff. I doodle things, right? And I do draw. So I decided in each one of these squares, I was going to draw all those drawings that, over the course of my lifetime when I'm deep in thought, because I write my doodles. And if you look at my doodles, you'll see, well, maybe not in these ones, that I do a lot of little jottings and stuff in my thought. It helps me out in my little scribbles and stuff. But what I was going to say about that was that I have no idea. The scribbles, oh, the squares in writing. I only have 6 things that I can draw. I could draw a horse, sort of, kind of. I could draw a cat face. I could draw a tropical island with a sailboat and a sunset with birds in the background and palm trees. That one's okay, but I've only drawn that one like hundreds and hundreds of times. And I'm a master at drawing eyeballs. I can draw eyeballs. Not realistically, they're almost cartoonish, but I could draw eyeballs. But that's all I can draw. So nobody would call me Leonardo da Vinci, even though I feel, right? But then again, I think of my sister Tracy, who thinks she's the greatest singer in the world, and she can crack glasses, but she don't crack glasses in a good way, if you know what I mean. With that high note, she just, right. When you went for a drive with her and she'd throw that Reba McEntire, oh my goodness, you'd wish you had a set of headphones to lock it out. But it was always fun listening to her sing, because we would tease her, laugh about it and stuff. And she just sung out of the joy for singing, right? So I thought that was pretty amazing. So I got this landscapes and pencils just to see if maybe I could maybe, right, become a little bit more artistic. I'm very creative and I'm very, very crafty, very crafty. But when it comes to drawing, I don't think I'm very good at drawing, in all honesty, right? My 6 things. Okay, let's look at the comments here. Oh, hello, Melvin. Great to hear about how well things are going with your eyes. I'm finding I have to read with glasses on again as my eyes change. I've been in glasses since I was 27 years old. I've been wearing my glasses. I never wore glasses either, but I did it to myself. There wasn't a condition, I don't think, even though my optometrist said that it's a very common Eastern European trait. The condition I have, far-sighted double astigmatisms. There's something about them that right, because usually it's nearsightedness, but I think because I spent so much time outside, so much time dad taking us out on road trips and stuff, that we were always looking at the landscapes. We were always looking far away. My dad used to call me eagle eyes because I was always looking on the side of the roads for the moose and the hawks and the eagles and the right. My dad had this game where each animal, whether it was a farm animal or wild animal, if we spotted them, they were worth a certain amount of points. And then he would turn that point system into dollars when we hit Reno or Vegas, because usually when we went on those long trips, we were going to Reno or Vegas. My dad loved his road trips. He most definitely is, and I'm very grateful that he passed that love down to me. And we're going on a big road trip, you guys, in September. I am so excited. I have been planning it for about 2 weeks now. I have only just started going into the different campsite. It's just that it's the itinerary, right? In knowing what days to book. I don't know if I'm going to wait a couple of days into my days off before I leave, or if I'm going to make a couple of extra pit stops in that adventure. It's going to be fantastic, you guys. Right? I'm renting a car for almost 2 weeks. I'm renting an amazing vehicle. I don't know what kind of vehicle, but something amazing. Right? Okay, so I bought this, you guys. Do you know what I'm going to use this for? No, I'm not using it for my kitchen sink for the vegetables. Right? I thought when I go rock hounding, right? When I go rock hounding, that this could be my granny wagon with all my rock hounding and bottle digging supplies, and that I could just pull this out and I could dump dirt in there and I could shake it, right? And then all the crystals would end up in the pan. Isn't that ingenious? I think it's actually just to sit in your kitchen sink so that you can wash your vegetables. I think that's what it is. It just pulls out to the length of your kitchen sink. But this was 75 cents with my staff discount. Oh no, 75 cents. This was $1 with my staff discount. And I thought that's what I would use it for. And I thought it was pretty smart because I could make it a little bit smaller and it won't take up a lot of room because I'll put other things in here to hold up all this space. And it goes in, right? I got an extra granny wagon bag, so I'll be able to just switch it out. And when I go up into the hills and stuff, I'll just drag that thing behind me. Ingenious. That's what I think anyway. I'm just gonna pat myself on the shoulder for the smarts and that. Um oh, the way we were, right? With Robert Redford. I bawled my eyes out. Yeah, I'm so proud of you though, Malvin. Man, I would not want to have cataract surgery. I worked with a woman who had cataracts removed for her eyes, and oh, it was bad enough putting contact lenses in my eyes. I can't imagine letting them. And you were awake through the process. Didn't you say you were awake through the process, Melvin? Yeah, I think he said that he was awake through the whole process. Okay, next, you guys. This is just a little glass plate. It's just a little glass plate, but it had little crystal balls on it. And I thought this would be nice on my glass shelf here. And I would put some of my crystals on here. You guys don't see it here, but I have trays of my rocks and my and my crystals all over the place. And I kind of like to present them. And I thought that was a nice little tray, right? That I would just stick some of my crystals on that. I'll just throw that there for now. I got this for my trip, you guys, for my cold drinks. It's a Starbucks. It's a Starbucks cup. It was only I think $1 or $1.50. Let me just take a look. The prices on it somewhere. Okay, so it cost me $1.75 because it's a Starbucks mug, so it had to be a little bit more expensive, right? But that's gonna hold my cold drinks and yeah, I thought that would be amazing for my, and it has a screw top on it, so if it tips over, it's not going to spill all over the place. I'll have time to catch it because we are going to have a rental, and I don't want to have any charges. I've never gotten charges or anything yet for not returning a clean vehicle or anything, and I don't want to start now, right? Trying to stay up with the comments at the same time. Nancy says, Melvin, just make sure you wear your sunglasses outside, even on cloudy days, because the bright light can be a little irritating. Oh, you're right. Cindy, if you like dark, dreary, rainy days, then welcome to my world. Well, hey, I'm from Vancouver, Nancy. You know I'm from Vancouver. Seattle and Vancouver get the exact same weather, And I loved the rainy days. Even when I was a kid or when I was going to bed at night to listen to the rain pounding on the roof or hear the wind howling or run out to the streets and see the streets flood. I love crazy weather. Not crazy weather where people would get hurt, but I do love crazy weather. Okay, I needed some summer sandals, so I got a pair of summer sandals, you guys. They're pretty much brand new, never been worn. You can see that, right? So somebody bought them, they didn't fit. I paid with my staff discount. I paid $3.50 for these, you guys. Only paid $3.50, and they're almost brand new. So they originally were priced $5 a pair, but I get a little staff discount on them too, and they're just like brand new. I can't wear them to work because I'm not allowed to wear open-toed shoes at work, and I wouldn't anyway because I care about my safety and I care about my toes, right? But yeah. Okay. This was only 75 cents, you guys. You guys know how much I love my trees. And I thought, what a beautiful little winter scene. I'm going to get a frame for this picture only because, right, you can see all my frames in my house. They're all being switched over. They're all in process. I think they're almost all done. I got a couple of pictures. They're all going into cream white pictures, and this is original art by a woman named Diane Lund, and she's from Rennie, Manitoba. So this is actually a winter scene from Manitoba. Oh, I love it even more. I probably saw that when I was looking at the picture, but somebody put a 75-cent price tag on original art. Are you kidding me? Right? That can come home with me. Okay, I'm just going to put that there. This was beautiful. With my staff discount, this cost me $1. You cannot actually see what it is or feel it, but this is all velvet, you guys. This is all velvet. It's absolutely stunning, and it's just a journal. And yeah, I'm not quite sure. I might, because I finished all my words for my 54 words for my cards, and I do a lot of scribbles and notes and stuff while I'm doing that too. It's not an exactly perfect flow, only because, right, I like to put that contribution of mine into that. And I feel like it just came from somewhere else. It was just so instant. I just spent a whole afternoon and I caught right up, you guys. So by the time we're finished getting those 54 words all ready, I'll be ready to design my deck of cards, and they're going to be a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful deck. I already have the design in my mind, and it's a brilliant design, but I can't say it just in case somebody else has the money to get it done before I do. But yeah, so I grabbed this one. This book was $1 with my staff discount. I wish you guys could feel how nice this is. It's fabric. It's velvet, right? It's absolutely beautiful. I love it. 75 cents. I'll use it for something. I don't know what, like I said, but I will use it for something. Okay, you guys, we're coming into some jewelry here. I was super excited to see this bracelet. For any of you guys who have been hanging out with me for any length of time, you know that's my favorite color in the whole world. I love mustard. I've loved it. Was my When I was a little kid, it was my favorite color in the Crayola box. And not every box of Crayola crayons had that color, but you guys know that color, right? But it was my favorite crayon. And I loved making suns with it and wheat with it. And yeah, so, and I have quite a few outfits because it is my favorite color that I put together a few outfits that this will work very well for. I donated 53 pairs of earrings to my work, but it has not stopped me from buying more from buying more earrings. So I bought this. Where can I turn it around? Thank you. I bought this pair of earrings, right? Even with the outfit that I'm wearing now, this pair of earrings would go perfect with the top that I'm wearing now. So I bought that one. And then, of course, I wear a lot of black still. I love color, but I have a lot of really nice black outfits. So I got a pair of black hoops too. So I got those hoops. So that's all I got for jewelry. I was right. I was very well behaved this payday because I usually buy at least $10 worth of jewelry, and there was only a few pieces there. And then I got a 1970s coffee cup. I love the 1970s coffee cup. I don't know why I love that nostalgia so much because it was so painful. There was so much trauma. There was so much fear. There was so much hypervigilance. There was so much dancing around other people's personality. And yet, I was such an adventurer. I was so curious. I was so my own person that somehow, some way, I found I found my place in the 70s. I was able to absorb a great deal of the 70s, and it really was a magnificent time for change, wasn't it? There was good stuff going on, there was bad stuff going on, but there was a lot of change going on in the 70s, and a lot of it stuck, didn't it? A lot of that change that happened in the 70s, it stuck, like like space, all that attention that we put on Mars and the moon, and right, SpaceX and rockets and the digital age. It all led into the digital age, right? Now we got the robots and stuff. Mm, good coffee. Oh, I'll show you this one thing too. I think this is one of my favorite scores this payday. This is a 20,000 mAh, super heavy. It like weighs, I'd have to say this weighs about 6 pounds. It's super heavy. Very, very powerful um, power box. And you guys know when I go on my trip, I do a lot of charging things as I drive because I got USBs just dangling everywhere and everything plugged into the USBs while I'm driving. But quite often, sometimes because I film so much, um, I kill the battery on my main camera. And then I say, oh, I gotta use my other Pixel to do filming, and then I'm gonna have to use a USB to transfer. I'd much rather just right use my own phone and just let it automatically upload to my Google Photos and be all stored there, so that I'm able to wipe my phone, all the footage off my phone, and have extra storage. I have a lot of storage on my phone, but I don't know if I would run out of storage on the phone. But if I did, right, I need to be able to charge my things. And I bet you I'll be able to use this for a lot of things, right? A USB fan. I could use this for a USB fan. 20,000. That's a lot. 1,500 or 1,000 would charge a phone from zero to full. So I would have to say this is pretty cool. It's one of my favorite things, right? One of my favorite things this payday. We're almost done the first bag. We only have 2 bags, you guys. But okay, it's just a little stand. It was only 75 cents. Oh, it goes like this. But it's for my crystals and my stones. I buy these things. I buy these stands so I can present as part of my decor. It's kind of like a plate holder, but it's for my crystals, right? I'll show you, because I got something that's sort of like a crystal here. It's not a crystal, but it's sort of like that. Okay, you guys. I got a pair of summer socks, right? I got 1 pair of socks this payday. I got a little change purse, right? It was only it was 75 cents with my staff discount, and I needed a good little change purse, so that will work perfect for my ID and my few dollars that I do keep in my wallet. I got this first. This is for block cheese, right? If you can't see it really well, but it's got a little slicer here, just so you can shave slices if you wanted to make a grilled cheese sandwich, right? Or slice the cheese and then maybe make a quesadilla or something, right? So I thought this was cheap. 30 cents. With my staff discount, it was like 30 cents. So yeah, I grabbed that. And then this one here, this is a glass cutter, right? So if I get some nice beer bottles or old pop bottles, because I will be doing some bottle digging when I go on my trip, that I'll be able to maybe cut them down, right? I usually just score them and then just use an ice cube, just run it around the score, and then it usually just pops off nice and clean. But I thought I would try this, and I'm sure this is going to work even better. For 75 cents, it can come home with me. It's what I do all the time. I said, oh, is that ever cool? That can come home with me, right? I do that all the time. It's one of the things that I do love about my job, right? Or these little scores that make me happy or feel pretty, or right, um, makes it so that my life is a little bit more comfortable, like my beautiful kitchen chairs, or give me that little bit of sense of pride that, right, I have a nice home where only, how long has it been? Are we going into our 4th year this year? Over 3 years now I have been here, but I did almost very close come to homeless. And so to be able to accumulate, not only because I lost all my stuff, pretty much I lost so much stuff because I didn't have much time to get out of my apartment and find a new place. I had to do it very, very fast because they were going to change the locks on me and stuff, right? So I didn't have much choice. and I lost all my amazing things, even my great big beautiful cherry wood office desk. This one is lovely, right? But I really loved my desk, and I lost it. And yet now, this home that I have now, I love it. I love everything. Everything I have is because I want to have it, right? It's not necessarily just because I need it. It's because I do need it, but I need it because it's a reminder of how far I've come, right? That I have come a long ways from what could have been a permanent situation for me. Now, let me come into the comments, and you guys all know, you guys remember me. Remember 40 below zero, and they cut off my hydro, and I was sitting doing my live show at 40 below zero with my quilt over my head, and I was keeping myself warm with the toaster that I was plugged into an extension cord that I ran out into the hallway of the apartment building so I could have at the very least, right, some toast and some warm air underneath this blanket. And I did my live shows like that for over a week, right? Over a week. And again, my sister came to my rescue after, right, making sure that I suffered long enough and I had learned my lesson. And did I learn my lesson? I'd have to say I never got myself in that situation again. It was pretty scary, right? To get myself that low, but life dishes out what life dishes out. And no matter what situation I had ended up with, I think I would have come out of it, right? That creativity, that necessity to not make myself feel any more demeaned than the way I did already, right? Yeah, I'll never forget that experience. It was a very scary time for me. I don't know how well. I didn't mean to cover it up, but at the same time, knowing myself, I know I probably wouldn't have brought too much up except what you guys could tell, right? From me doing my live shows, what, right? I couldn't, but I would never have come right out and said my situation was any better than it actually was, because it was very scary, and I probably did not mention it or tried to make it look a little bit better or a little bit lighter than what the situation actually was. But it was a very scary time for me. And my sister Alice came through for me and talked to the managers of this agency that runs the building I'm in now, and they took me in. Right, the apartment wasn't even right ready to go yet. They had to paint and clean and, right, do repairs and stuff. This one was pretty cool. $4.50. So what this is, and you can see it's got it's got kind of straps here that you puncture or screw into the walls. So it attaches to the walls, and it just zippers open, and you can keep your clothes and things in it. And I was thinking, well, this might be good for my trip, that maybe I could just, instead of tacking it to the wall, I could just put strings or carabiners, something in those holes, and then just maybe attach it to the coat hooks or something on the wall of the vehicle. And I thought, wow, that would be really space saving if I could use something like that. Even if I'm just using it for the laundry, and then I just unhook the whole bag and take the whole bag to the laundromats. I am camping, but in this day and age that we live in, I am grateful that they have something called comfort stations in the campgrounds. And you guys, like, being somebody who's retired and looking for inexpensive little vacations and stuff, like, take yourself camping and walk the trails and sit at a campfire or sit at the lake and go fishing and right, and there's comfort stations there where you can, have showers, and you can have a real toilet with a where you can flush the toilet. You can You have rooms where you can actually do your laundry, right? Lots of people, they like to go on those cross Canada, those cross country trips, or if you're in United States, I'm sure the campgrounds are the same. Not quite the same as what's in camp, because obviously the landscapes are a little bit different, and plus the government runs it the way they want to, depending on the country. But I would suspect that even in the States, they have comfort stations. So I got this set up, and it looks really neat because if I do like it, look at all the things that you can get with this same kind of materials, all this neat storage that you can do with this kind of product. So I'm going to give it a shot. If I like it, I don't know if I'll buy it new because I have a rule about only buying thrifted right now. But this is never going to have the opportunity to cross my path again. I'm assuming, being working in the little thrift store, that I'm going to take that opportunity now, purchase it, and see if I like it. See if I like it. This one is also for my trip. I was in love with this one, you guys. This is going to be my new shower bag. Let me open it up. I had it all folded and everything in there. But this is going to hold my shampoo, my toothpaste, face cloths, all the things that I need when I'm walking from the campground to go have my shower, right? There's even enough room in there for a fresh set of clothes that I thought this was absolutely perfect. This cost me $2.50 with my staff discount, and it's absolutely perfect. And I thought, yeah, that I can take on my trip. I have a great shower bag that I normally use, but I might use that bag for, the snacks, because I like to, when I go on these trips, I like to eat a lot of, I haven't eaten any cheese. I tried to cut out the cheese. Well, it's been a few months since I've had any real cheese. I had cheese slices, right? But I haven't had any real cheese. And when I go on these trips, it's one thing that I do love to have is I love to take a cheese ball with me, and I love to take crackers with me. Cheese balls and crackers. I can eat it the whole trip. And as long as there's a Tim Hortons, right, along the way, I am happy with that. I know twice last year and the year before I had to throw out my meat. I threw out my meat once. I went to the grocery store, I replenished all my meat, and I ended up throwing all that meat away also. So I've got to be very, very careful about what I truly need on this trip. And if at all possible, maybe stop at a store on the drive while I'm on the road and just pick up enough for that day or the next day rather than, right? That's a lot of money. I've got the vehicle paid for, I think pretty close for the 2 weeks that I want it. So I have a free paycheck on that trip, which is going to cover all the gas. And I have my savings, and I also am going to be taking care of the camping with some money that the government gives us in helping with the economy for what we're paying in the groceries and our house bills and stuff. So the government is doing their share. And we always grumble about the government, about what they're not doing for us and how we're not getting anything and how they're not treating us well. But, I have to say they are trying. It is our nature to grumble and point fingers, and it's easy to make the bad guy the government, isn't it? It is, because that's what you do is they make the authority the bad guy. And I have to make mental note for that too, because I have to remember these are their jobs too. And right, there are expectations on them as much as there are expectations on us. It's why we have these jobs, why each one of us is responsible for what we bring to the table, right? When it comes to putting the roof over our head. So I got this bag, you guys. on my trips quite often, I it's a very social trip, when I'm on the trails, when I'm stopping off in the restaurants and the gas stations, when I'm on the road. I'm a very curious person. I like to have conversations. I like to meet people, things that come across my path. I like to play with that a little bit. But in the end, I would like to give the oh, let me hear what's your brand? What's your channel name called? And I thought maybe, right, I could print off some business cards. These are actual printed business cards and brand new in the package. It only cost me 50 cents, 30 cents with my staff discount, right? And I thought maybe this year I'd make some business cards so that I could just hand them out when I'm on my trip so that people can easily find me online. I'm grateful to be able to still have people that I've met in my journeys who are still following my content. And it's very nice because it almost makes you feel like you're making friends, right? You're making friends, and not always do these people who follow your content become known to you, but lots of times they don't want to be known, right? They like your content, but they're living their own life. They're living their own adventures, and you're just there for the moment of that connection that they found in you, right? So I never take offense to how long or if at all people move with me, right? It's always nice to have people, right? It's always nice to come in here on Sunday night and see all you guys here hanging out with me and hanging out with each other. Okay, I know you guys are yappers. Cindy, both my eyes have been repaired. I can see just freaking great now, but I do not. Oh, you don't need the reading glasses yet. Oh, that's absolutely amazing. Good for you. Good for you, Melvin. Uh, I'm just coming down here. Melvin says he was very anxious. It was a very anxious time for him, but not having the glasses, right? It's all over now. Now you can move on with your life. And at the same time, you're going to meet people along the way, Melvin, who are going to have that operation. And you'll be able to ease their minds in that, or knowing Melvin, have a little fun with that, right? I can see Melvin doing that if somebody says, I gotta get cataracts, and then he go into some horror story about something, and then right at the end when the person's just freaking out and I'm not going in the hospital, go, psych, just joking. I can see Melvin doing something like that. Okay. Um Brendan, did you see my video on Olympic Sculpture Park? Your flowers were absolutely beautiful, Nancy. I thought those beautiful flowers were just amazing. I would love to have a garden with those flowers in. Okay, we're getting close, you guys. Like I said, this weekend we had linens on sale. I got something fabulous for my trip. Look at this, you guys. It's for the window. It's a blackout screen, you guys. Look at it. It's brand new. And it's a big blackout screen for the front window. Oh my goodness. I'm going to make little Velcro stickers, little 3M stickers. And that's coming on my trip. No question. I remember when I went there was one day, not last year, but the year before, I stopped in a town. Oh, Dryden. Yeah, I stopped in Dryden and I actually slept in the Walmart parking lot. There was a guy, a Chinese gentleman, and he had his little, I don't know, it was a little pilot or something, and he had his back end open on his SUV, and he had his camp stove there, and he had a chair in front of it, and he had it all set up like his kitchen table, and he was cooking himself dinner. And then at the end of the night, you could see him, and he was covering all his windows up. But there's a lot of lighting at the Walmart, and they play the music out in the parking lot really loud all night too. So you take earplugs with you if you go, right? But I don't know if you want to take earplugs when you're sleeping in your car, right? Because you never know who's gonna decide to come visit you in that. But yeah, I grabbed this. This is gonna be a lifesaver because if at some point I have to do that find a free camping spot, Cindy, um, then I'll be able to, right, go into a Walmart if I have to, and I'll be able to cover most of the light streaming in through the window. Um, Light usually doesn't bother me. When I go to bed, I have, you guys, you can see there's right here. Whoops, see right here. You can see there's a light there on my. I'm gonna back up here a little bit so you can see this. There's two more lights right here, and then there's one right behind it. And then right behind me, right there, you can see there's another light shaped like a light bulb. These stay on all night. They just glimmer up against the wall. They're like night lights, right? Like little Himalayan salt stones and stuff. And I really like this one. Oh, this one here, because it changes colors at night and it changes the wall a little bit over the course of the night. So I really like that little one. It's a little Himalayan salt that has been sanded to look like an egg. Yeah, like an ostrich egg or something. And then this is just a little ceramic. Bring it up close so you can see. It was only 70. It was only 70 cents. I don't know if you guys can see the sparkles in that, but there's lots of sparkles and stuff, and it's very, very pretty. But remember, I showed you the stand. So say this is a crystal. How pretty that looks. Doesn't that look very pretty? So yeah, I've got these things, here and there in my living room. It's my thing. It's my style, and I really like that. So that'll be washed and sat up in the sun, and then it'll be displayed. It'll be displayed. Okay, I've got. Looks like I got one more thing in here, and then I think. Oh no! I got my movies. I don't know if anybody has seen this one, but I really like Dennis Quaid. I love his movies, and he's a very smart and in thoughtful man. I like his insights. I do. I like the way he thinks, and I like the way he forward thinks, and he's problem solving even before the problems arise. People like this that are gonna help us move right forward in this day and age that we live in. Well, you guys know I love the Ice Ages, but no, I have not gotten Ice Age number 5 or Ice Age number 6 yet. I'm assuming I'll get it for my birthday or Christmas, right? Because I don't buy new, and it hasn't come into the store. I've been waiting for them to come into the store so I can purchase them uh, thrifted, because I don't buy brand new anymore. I only buy thrifted things. I buy nice things, but they're all thrifted. And this movie came onto the shelf, and I remember bawling my eyes out in this movie. And it's really funny. I'm looking at this right now, and my favorite character is not even on the cover. Wally. What a great movie. Have you guys seen this movie? Have you guys seen this movie, Wally? But look at the cover. My favorite character is not even on that cover. Can anybody guess who my favorite character is? If you've seen the movie, let me know, and in a couple minutes I'll let you guys know who my favorite character was in that movie. If you haven't seen this movie, this is a movie you've got to see. It's so good. It's got a huge, impactful message that that I do believe deserves a little bit of attention. Um, let's come down into the comments here. We're just gonna scroll down here. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, William's here too. Hello, William. Hello, William. Anyone, thumbs up, please, so we can get Cindy's live out there on YouTube. Oh, aren't you sweet, Nancy? Very sweet of you. Genuine, though, right? If you enjoyed hanging out with us, if you enjoyed my crew, my crew, right? They're so amazing. But I'm sure they're part of other people's crew also, and I'm so grateful that they come in and hang out with me. Andrew says, I just saw a YouTube interview of Jordan Peterson talking with Dennis Quaid. Very interesting. Oh, he did. I'm going to have to look that. I have to look that up. Jordan Peterson has been pretty much a scapegoat for the past few years. People have tried to downrank him. But, I believe that we can learn off of anybody, and you can't take somebody's brightness, their smartness, their knowingness away from them. That's right. And I think we do a big discredit when, right, we go against, and we actually, like I said, we go and we nitpick to bring others down because we're not feeling good. That we'll look at others and we'll tear them to the point where, right, that they feel bad. They feel bad too. And you got to remember that's a human being, and that's a human being in the public limelight who has been taking quite a bit, I think, of verbal abuse and attacking his character, right? And whether that attacking his character is right, if he is what they say is, that's right, it's not really your concern. Why, if you don't have something nice to say, right? You don't say anything at all. It's not like he was a criminal. It wasn't like he was out there, right, beating people, right? Sometimes, like I was telling you the story of that manager of mine, right? She was rough around the edges, right? That nobody could tear you a new one like she could. But her heart was amazing. And I would much rather stand next to her or have her stand next to me than have somebody stand next to me that would just look at her and tear her down. That would just aggravate me to no end, because that loyalty, once I love you, it's like any one of you, if you guys, right, let me know that somebody was treating you badly, I'd be saying, oh, do you know their emails? Who are they? Do you got a phone number for me? I probably wouldn't phone, but I don't think I would have a problem sending an email and giving lessons on kindness. 100%. You like that one, Nancy? I love that movie too. Okay, Nancy, then you'll know who I'm talking about. My favorite character in that whole movie. It broke my heart. I bawled my eyes out when he left that. Remember, it was a junkyard planet. He left Earth, and he was the trash collector. He was made in human time as a robot to clean up humans' mess. And when humans left the Earth, and humans left the Earth in this movie, and they went into spaceships, right? When the humans left the Earth, he was left behind to manage the Earth, and he just wandered around cleaning up things. But my favorite character in this movie was the cockroach. Do you remember the cockroach, Nancy? And when he went onto that spaceship, right? When he went onto that spaceship and he left that cockroach behind, my heart broke. I was so sad. I was just like bawling my eyes out. right? Because they were best friends, right? They were like best friends that because that's all they had was each other, the cockroach and the robot, and they right this company, this production company, Disney Pixar, right? Pixar, right? They didn't even give credit. Like there's not even a little picture. He's not on the shoulder. He's holding the little plant, but where's my cockroach? Oh my goodness. Somebody deserves an email. Somebody deserves an email. Maybe this will be the movie that I watch this weekend. I think this movie would inspire me. Sometimes we just need that little bit of fresh air and that little bit of fresh perspective to remind us why we're doing all of this, right? Yeah. I think I need to watch a movie on my days off, but I'm only getting right the 2 days off this week. I am working tomorrow, so I will be going to bed early tonight. Um, you guys, that's all my staff charges. I spent $80, and I'm not crazy about Bugs either, Nancy. Right? But he was a character, cute or not cute. But he left the cockroach on Earth all by itself with nobody. I mean, in the end, he came back when everybody came back to Earth, right? Probably one of the humans probably went and says squashed it, right? But yeah, maybe that's in Wall-E too. You never know. I'm surprised they never did make a Wall-E 2. I don't know if they did. Maybe they did. I never even Googled it because I do think it was such a great movie that it would be worth it to do maybe a Wall-E 2. I know I would go to the theaters to see Wall-E 2 for sure. It was up there with me. I'm a big animated movie fan. You guys know I love the Ice Ages. The Ice Ages are like my favorite movies of all time. But yeah, I really did enjoy Wally. Yeah. Okay, you guys, I think that's it for tonight. We are going to be doing our 41st word tomorrow. We're going to be picking a new word and we're going to be running with that word in a first perspective. And then we're going to be running with that word all week in different experiences, maybe stories, maybe other people's experiences or other people's stories or other people's perspectives, right? We're getting pretty close. We're going to be ending the 54 words as I count them, right? Because we're going on to our 41st words. That means we have 13 more words. We have 13 weeks. And this project that I've been working on this year will be over a week before I go on my vacation. Then I'm going to disappear for my 2 weeks and I'm going to be filming and experiencing and relaxing and re-energizing and moving forward, no doubt, right? A lot of contemplation, a lot of connection to Mother Nature, lots of crystals and rocks this year. I'm dedicating the whole trip to crystals and rock hounding. And I've decided to go to New York, to Herkimer, New York. If anybody wants to meet me in Herkimer, New York, I got a free camping spot. Well, it's not really free, it's going to cost me $150 for this experience, but it will be an experience where I can be guaranteed to find amazing kick butt crystals. And I want to have at least one of those experiences. So there's going to be money set away so that I can book that couple of days. I think I'm going to stay there a couple of days because it is free camping. And initially you have to pay a higher fee because they take you up in the quads up into the mountains and stuff to find your spot. And then they'll come and pick you up at night and take you back to your campground. So it's going to be a really neat experience. I've also shut down my points on my Tim Hortons card. It's the only card that I do use when it comes to rewards cards. It's only because I collect the points, and then I'm going to use all those points for all the coffees on my trips. So I shut down, and I've already racked up my first coffee already. That's how much coffee I buy. I wish I could cut back, and I do cut back, and I should take juices and my iced teas and stuff to work, especially going into summer and especially needing to be hydrated. That it might be a good idea for me to rehash that idea and soon, because it could possibly save me even more money, right? That in the end I'm just going to apply it all to my holidays. Be booking the camping spot in July. Like I said, I'll be booking my camping spots in July. And yeah, this is filling up my time. I am busy, you guys. I'm busy with work. I'm busy online. I'm busy in my sharing my content, and I'm busy in doing the research on the different places that I want to be uh, uh, bottle digging and rock hounding, and then also at the same time, right? That I want to start working on that itinerary. Oh, and I got the cards I'm working on. Like they're right. I am busy, and sometimes, right, I think I'm just not busy enough. But I can't take any more on my plate right now. Otherwise, I will feel that frazzle, and that frazzle will be noticed in what I'm bringing to the table and what I'm bringing to myself and others, no question. So I think in adding to the list, let's get the cards done, right? 54 words. We're getting close. We're 13 weeks away, which is only 3 months away. And yeah, and then we'll be moving into something else. Maybe using the cards, maybe in the distribution of the cards, maybe in making it into a small, what do you call that? Not passive income. It certainly wouldn't be passive income because the work was put into it, but maybe as an extra income rolling in, right? And it makes it so that, the more income that I have rolling in, the more time I can dedicate, right, to my brand and to my life. Okay, you guys, that's it for tonight. Thank you, everybody, for coming in, and thank you for the prayers, Andrew, and thank you for the beautiful letters again and all the kindnesses, right? Nancy, thank you so much, and entertaining us as you do every single week, even in your own struggles, and even in those times that, right, you find it difficult to connect with others, you always find a way, and it's much, much, much appreciated. Thank you, William, for popping in. Everybody, have a great night. I'm going to say hi to Kathy. I'm going to say hi to Sharon. I'm going to say hi to Robert, because I know I'm missing others. But when you pop in later, if you say hi in the comments, right, back, then I know that we connected. Okay, you guys, that's it for tonight. And we'll see you next week if we don't see you tomorrow. Bye bye.